Hello everyone, this is Archive12, and today we have a new Shadow the Hedgehog song from the Stupendium, featuring the longest solo ever. This is called Shadow of Myself, and to be perfectly frank, I didn't expect Stupendium to cover Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, I know that he was, if I remember correctly, I know he was featured in, one or both of Cam Steady's Sonic the Hedgehog ciphers, both the villain cipher and the hero cipher. But I never thought that he'd do a standalone song for Sonic the Hedgehog, especially about Shadow. But to be fairly honest, I am here for it because Shadow is my favorite Sonic the Hedgehog character, and I am very excited to see exactly what Stupendium and Longest Solo Ever have cooked up for us today. Link will be in the description below if you want to watch this without my commentary, because we'll be pausing, I will be talking about it. And also down below is a link to my Patreon, where you'll find reaction videos to a variety of different TV shows and anime. Without further ado, let's get started. I like the custom Stipendium logo.
I will find myself in these memories. Bring control into the chaos, storming deep through all the pain. Find the light I've lost, set the edge of pain. The light fades, but I remain. Will I always be a shadow of myself?
Okay, first off, was not expecting them. I was expecting a little bit of an intro, a lead up. I was expecting some kind of like, I guess, introduction to what the song's going to be about. Longest Solo Ever just kind of like popped in there and was like, nah, you know what? We're not doing that. It's like, F an intro. If you get that reference, then I applaud you. Yeah, no, that took me by complete surprise there. I see that Stupes, it looks like they've got a sort of a Sonic the Hedgehog edginess vibe to them on this video. So I'm assuming that Stupes is playing Shadow. Like the human version of Shadow, which, okay, interesting. I would imagine that the human version of Shadow would be Keanu Reeves, but I guess Keanu Reeves is a bit of on a budget. A bit out of budget, excuse me. Yeah, no. So we've got a rock intro, like a synthetic rock intro, and now Stupes looks like it's that they're going to be rapping. So interesting way of starting this.
Pick up the pieces, repeat and repeat till the sequence ceases. Trying to write a thesis, defining me in defiance of all the anxiety is like cryosleep. All those years locked away while the whole world got to play. Self-left to rot decay. Now I'm not the same, but it's not too late, cause I've got today. We'll watch today. All the flashbacks are crack and the memories oscillate as I grasp at the fragments of destiny lost the shade. My whole past on display and demonstrate, and I forgot where I lost the way. So allow me to postulate on the nature of what it takes to find heart to say that I'm not the fake. They say I'm fearless, they say I'm strong, they say I'm peerless, and they're not wrong. But I was engineered for a job that's gone, so I'll spend the years just grinding on. Tell me, does it make you free or worthless if you can't complete your purpose? Am I the character between curse and cure, or just surplus neath the surface?
Hang on. I'm dissecting this a little bit. I love how Stupes tied in the ultimate life form aspect, because I'm not familiar with Shadow in most iterations. The iteration that I'm most familiar with Shadow from is predominantly, I think it's, what is it? What's the anime? Sonic X, I think. That's the one I'm most familiar with Shadow in. And then with obviously Sonic the Hedgehog 3 now out, and I've now seen it, like, I'm familiar with Shadow from there. But I can definitely see how the ultimate life form how that concept could have been used not just to create something to save humanity, or create a weapon, because I feel like that Shadow's like purpose for being the ultimate life form has changed depending on depiction. I don't think it's changed wildly, but it has changed. Whether he's like a private experiment, a government experiment, an alien that has been studied and researched, I suppose that really just depends. That really just depends on the way that the story is presenting him. But regardless of what his origin story is, I like how Stupes has tied that into with this specifically this last line. Like all of it led up to this, but the last line right before Longest Solo Ever pops back in about oh, not far enough.
Just grinding on. Tell me, does it make you free or worthless if you can't complete your purpose? Am I the character between curse and
This one. Does it make you worthless if you can't complete your purpose? Am I the character between the curse and cure?
cure, or just surplus beneath the surface?
Or surplus beneath the surface? Like those lines right there, like encompass pretty much every single origin that Shadow has had, to my understanding. Like I said, whether he be a government experiment, an alien, a personal experiment, whether he's meant to save the world or lead it to its destruction. I love the fact that Stupes basically just kind of grabbed all of those origins and summed it up in like 2 lines.
Hedgehog's supposed to do when resolution's overdue. It's been 20 years since I first appeared and I still don't know the truth. Ain't nobody lived a life so gritty as I blaze through midlife crisis city on a motorcycle with a loaded rifle and the hope that vital quite the nihilist in me. Cast to a demon and the dreams of man and that dream cast me left to sleep abandoned. Had my light dash till I see the pattern of an arc so dark it eclipsed canon. How many chapters and pages left as I cling to the last to escape the next?
I forget, is the Eclipse Cannon the name of that gun that like blows up the moon?
To a demon and the dreams of man and that dream cast me left to sleep abandoned. Had my light dash till I see the pattern of an arc so dark it eclipsed canon.
I feel like that's probably a bar there. I can't remember for sure, but I think the name of the gun that destroys the moon is supposed to be the Eclipse Cannon because it's destroying the moon, thus putting it in a permanent eclipse. So I like how that particular line there actually kind of alludes to that.
Till I see the pattern of an arc so dark.
An arc so dark it eclipses its cannon. Like that's a very well written bar right there.
Canon. How many chapters and pages left as I cling to the last to escape the next? As I sit through the past on a razor's edge, as I pick which path on the stage select. How to find a way? No, I'm not programmed. No, I got no cage, but I got no plan. On a final chase, trying to find a place, but I'm out of taste when the clock grows hands. What's the point of running at light speed if I'm running from the choice of who I might be? At the life I lead, looking behind me because it was so much easier in the 90s. Simple time, you know.
I think that's supposed to be a poke at the fact that like Sonic lore has gotten so freaking complicated since the original 90s like video games where Sonic and Tails were just and Knuckles were just running around collecting coins or rings rather and defeating Robotnik's characters, like, or if you're watching like the old school cartoon like I did, he's defeating Scratch and I forget what the other one's name is. The Digger and Scratch. I don't know. It's from the old like 1993, 1994 cartoon of Sonic and Tails, and it featured a robot chicken and a robot like drill on treads that helped Robotnik, and Robotnik was super fat and bulbous prior to him becoming just basically a ball with arms and legs. Yeah, those storylines were a lot simpler back then. Now we've got so many different characters, and Shadow himself is super edgy and complicated, and there's so much more lore. It's like, yeah, the 90s were simpler for a lot of different things. Sonic lore being one of them.
I will find myself in these memories. Bring control into the chaos, storming deep through all the pain. Find the light I lost, set the edge of pain. The light it fades, but I remain. Will I always be a shadow of myself?
Can't you see me at the window with my hand against the glass?
Oh, okay.
Time is
Okay, so that's now Stupes is singing as Amy. Got it. Or is it Amy? No, not Amy. What am I thinking? Maria. There we go. I'm planning on reacting to an Amy Rose and Shadow song that came out a couple weeks ago, and for whatever reason, Amy's name got stuck in my head instead of Maria.
window with my hand against the glass. Time is leaving me in limbo, forced to languish in the past. Now the future lies before me as I break from this machine. Live and learn to write my story until
I love that. I didn't even. It took me a second to process. But like this is just full of references to Crush 40. Like this section here, especially these last couple of lines, are just Crush 40 bars.
live and learn to write my story until I am old.
And for the record, like All of Me is my favorite Crush 40 song. So like I love that little like Easter egg.
Control into the chaos, storming deep through all the pain. Find the light I lost, set the edge of pain. The light it fades, but I remain. Will I always be a shadow of myself?
The age I was playing Sonic Adventure 2 was probably the last point in my life I remember actually understanding everything, who I am, where I'm going. The biggest problem in my life was trying to beat Canon's core, and now I have a mortgage. Adulting is hard.
I feel that. I feel that.
The all-over overkill is back with
We'll that's a very long ad. Normally I watch Stupendium ads because they're quite entertaining, but I might have to leave that one. If you want to watch the ad, go, by all means, go check out the link in the description below. Watch the entire video. This one's just a bit too long. Normally they're only like 30 seconds or something like that, and I can stomach it. But it's like this is a minute, almost a minute and a half. So I'm gonna hold off on watching that and just give you my thoughts for the song. I thought the song was very well written. The ability to encompass Shadow's storyline in just a couple of bars is fascinating to me. Especially with how many origins he's had. He's had several. So I like the fact that like Stupes was able to cover all of those. The Crush 40 lines, that was probably easily my favorite part of this. Just hands down, no questions asked. The Crush 40 bars, easily my favorite part. I love what LongestSoloEver did. I'm assuming that LongestSoloEver worked on the instrumental alongside doing the chorus. I thought that the chorus was very, very well done. I really thought it was fitting for the topic. My one complaint, I think, was that I think that the chorus was repeated one too many times. I think if there was one less part of the chorus, and maybe there was like one of those epic guitar solos in its place, like in near the halfway point or something like that, I think that would have been better, in my personal opinion. Um, making sure that I'm giving people exactly who hook vocals. Okay, so Cinema Beats is the one that produced the beat, not Longest Solo Ever. Interesting. I still maintain that comment though. I think that Longest Solo Ever, if he had had a um like a guitar solo instead of one of those chorus lines, I think it would have been a little bit better because it just felt by the last one, it just felt a little redundant. Overall, though, out of all the Sonic the Hedgehog songs that has come out in the last couple of weeks, I feel like this one might be my favorite. I'll have to go back and put them in a playlist and listen to them back to back, but I think this one might be my favorite. And that's saying something because they've had some really good ones come out recently. But anyway, that's going to be it for me. Thank you for joining me. I am Markov12, and I will see you in the next video.